Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 100 days in Pixelmon as a gym leader. Over the next 100 days, my goal is simple: become the strongest gym leader in the entire region. I'll start with nothing, build my team from the ground up, train them to perfection, hunt for shinies, capture legendaries, and crush every challenger that dares to step up. Let's jump into it. My journey started like every other Minecraft journey. We punched some wood so we can get tools. I usually do this so I can take the PC from the Pokemon Center because it's always good. And upstairs in the shop, they always have a lot of loot. Whenever you're starting a Pixelmon world, just go upstairs because this is like their storage. They have so many Pokeballs and you can use that straight away to start your journey rather than finding stuff to sell to them. Now, my noob era was trying to break that. And yeah, I got an aluminium ingot. But then we found this. This is the gym in this town. And I saw the levels and was like, yeah, there's no way we can do this, but why don't we try? My Squirtle went in with a water gun, was absolutely taken out by the Raticate. We never want to do that again. Let's just walk away with our head hanging. Now, we moved to the ocean as yes, we are training to be a water type gym leader. We can use one or two other Pokemon, but water types will be fun. Now, as I left the ocean, there was a Dratini that spawned and I was so shocked because usually you have to fish that out. I don't know how it was there, but we went for it because imagine having a Dragonite in this series. That could be like my gym Pokemon. Like that's my, like what's the word? Special Pokemon? But he was proving to be quite difficult. We had to tackle him down quite a fair bit to about 37%, and then we finally captured him with an Ultra Ball. But that is such a good addition, and he actually has the stats that you want boosted attack on him, which was really good for us. My inner gym leader ego came out and I wanted to try and take on this Score Bunny. He's a rare. I healed my Pokemon and came back for it, and you know what, it was 30 levels higher than me. And I don't know why I decided to do this. This was not starting out to be the greatest 100 days because we were just losing everywhere we went. But that's the best comeback story. Everybody likes an underdog story, so it's fine. We might take the L's this early, but as the video goes on, it gets so much better. The adventure continues, and like every Pokemon game, you always find a Rattata first in the wild. And we had to take it. It gives you speed IVs, I think. We're not really focusing on that too much in this series. We probably should, but we're not. We found this Savannah Plains, and is this a primal Groudon? It's a primal Groudon, but then it turned out to be like an ultimate Groudon boss. There's no way we were gonna do that, so we just continued leveling up, got Rapid Spin, which was really good. As we're water type, I knew we'd fight a lot of grass Pokemon who would want to take us on, so I thought having that would be good, because if they try and Leech Seed us, we can take that off. But then we did find this Cast Form Raid Den, and I don't know why, the bad luck continues. It just exploded, and that was it. We couldn't even take it on. We couldn't do anything. I continued venturing on in the desert, and we came across this weird generated biome. I'm pretty sure it's just a mesa biome, and I was so distracted by looking at it at the corner of my eye, I almost fell to my death. Could you imagine? I don't know what was happening at the start of this video. It was just horrific, but we finally got out. We climbed the mountain and we found this Charcadet who does evolve into Armorage or Cerulege. It's one of those, but they're a really cool Pokemon, one of the latest generation Pokemons. I've never used it, but maybe in a part 2 or 3, you never know. There wasn't much left in the mesa biome, so I built a boat so we could sail the 7 seas and find better water Pokemon that will be suited for our team, because we needed to start early, and there were already good signs. We found a floating Magikarp boat, probably made by Team Rocket, so we explored it, and these are usually really good because you can get a lot of free items, a lot of stuff you can sell to the shopkeepers as well. So these chests usually have like pearls in them, sometimes they have relic coins, and they sell for a decent amount of money. It's been nerfed a little bit, you don't get that much, but the best is this set. It's an Aqua Team set, and when you have the whole set on your person, it grants you extra breathing space underwater. With our new armor equipped, we continued on, and the next thing that happened, I couldn't even have made up. I was just sailing, and the map showed another boss, but this time it was a Mega Gyarados boss. If I was just a few levels higher, I would have been so happy to take this on, because then we would have had a Mega Gyarados boss. But then later on, we find a normal Gyarados, which was the best thing that could have happened, because now we can start with this Gyarados, slowly level him up to the point that he can Mega Evolve, and he was proving a little difficult to capture. We finally did with just Great Balls because we don't have enough money to fund Ultra Balls, but the team was looking strong. We now had a Gyarados plus a Whalmer that I wanted because he is such a tanky boy. He's like Snorlax, but the water version. We were back on land, and we can't be a great gym leader if we don't have a great Pokemon collection. What is better than a Scyther? Like, we can literally get a Sizzle. We're not going to use him, but just to have him in our collection, it's a cool thing to say that we have. I have no no idea what that Pokemon was. Espathra. I think it's a new gen, but it was confusing. But this is incredible. Like, we then came up in the desert and we found a Zapdos shrine. I was just wandering, walking around everywhere, and it blew my mind because we could potentially have a legendary bird. Right next to it was a 1-star raid den. And again, it just exploded. We had all the Pokemon available. We were going to take it out, but it just didn't want us to do it. We tried another one, a 2-star Dunsparce. The same thing happened. I don't know what it is with us and raid dens. We just can't seem to do them. But we moved on, and I found this Chikorita, and it would be cool to collect as many starter Pokemon that I can. I went into battle with it, accidentally used double hit, and it fainted. I mean, that's not one of the highlights of this episode. I don't know what happened there. Now, this world that we generated was just amazing. Like, there was so many coral reefs. There were so many new biomes I've never explored. Like, look at how good these trees are. If you want to make a normal world, it would be so much fun. And of course, I found a nether portal, which gave me the crown. We have to. We are going to be the best. We need a gold crown. Now, we're moving on to some more raid dens because I just need the XP candies. Leveling up is going to be so difficult because I don't think the rare candy trees are a thing in this game. Obviously, if you guys have seen my previous 100 days, you'll know I can find Christmas trees that have a lot of rare candies, and it made leveling up so much easier. So a lot of the days are probably going to be filled out by leveling. That's why we need to find as many raid dens and get as many rare candies. But Hydro Pump was a good find. If I need to, I can give it to Blastoise if his moves aren't that great. The only problem is with Hydro Pump, it's not very accurate. So we'll have to see about that one. Now, this was incredible. We had a Keldeo spawn on us in a river biome. It's so early on. It must be like day 4 or 5. And I don't know how, but wait till you see how long this takes. I tried to just go into battle with it and try and weaken it. As you can see, it's just taken out all of my Pokemon. Dratini was gone. Welmer was gone. Gyarados put up a decent fight, but I realized we need to just throw our Pokeballs there. If we get lucky, we get lucky. But you can see how long I've spent on this one Keldeo. I thought if I can get a level 50 Keldeo at the start, it makes my life so much easier. But it just took too long. We essentially ran out of Pokeballs. It's day 7. Then it just disappeared. Like, it vanished into thin air. I was so confused. I looked up to the heavens. I was like, what did you do with my Keldeo? I mean, I wasn't going to capture it, but still. We had to move on because sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And this place is where you can always win. I'm pretty sure it's like an altar, but then it also has a graveyard in the back. And I didn't want to do this, but when you break into it, you do get a lot of good items. Relic coppers are good amounts of money. We also found silver relics, I think they are. And we found gold relics. All of them you can sell for a decent amount of money at the shop because you're going to need to use all of that to buy great balls, ultra balls, potions, max revives, especially if you want to take on the hard gyms because they're not easy at all. I did find a Curlier in the wild in this region and I did want to capture it. It's just cool to have. If we do a part 2, we can have multiple Pokemon teams. I've never used a God of War properly in a Pokemon game, but it'd be really cool to use. And this area, it was just non-stop. We found this area and it was all broken. It was like some old age battle had went on. But when I took a closer look, I was pretty sure that was an Arceus chalice. I went even closer and it 100% was. So if we find Arceus plates, this is one place where we can revive. Thankfully, I did find a village because we needed to restock after that Keldeo failed attempt. Because we used so many Pokeballs, we needed new Ultra Balls and Great Balls. Otherwise, we were not capturing anything else the rest of this episode. I then did what I forgot to do at the start, and that's take the PC. It's always helpful because you can just use it. I know people will say, why don't you use /PC? I will say, the only one I'm using is /Pokeheal because you can't really spawn or teleport to your home to heal yourself in a place, so we're just gonna leave that. I did then see another little gym, and this time I was a lot smarter and I just left. I was not having to deal with that. I did not want to take another loss this early on. Abra was the next Pokemon added to the collection because if we want to take on different gym leaders, we're going to need different types. Obviously not in this episode, but in case we were to do it as an additional series where we do part 2 and part 3. But we moved on and I was finally able to find extreme hills so I can actually level up my water Pokemon. But there was this weird generated house. I know that is another place we can find an Arceus chalice or the weird cup looking thing. But this house, funnily enough, was like, I'm pretty sure it's a church. I'm not too sure. It might be the Pokemon Pixelmon equivalent. It didn't really have stuff for us to take, but it had really cool statues. If we were to build a house, I would 100% put these statues in my house. Maybe wouldn't steal them, but I would find out how to build them. The rest of the village was filled with these drinks, and they give you so much HP when you're in battle. It gives you like 100 HP. So we just looted the rest of the place, got a few more potions and drinks, and then we set off again on our adventure. We found another chikorita just chilling on top of the hill, but this time I wanted to capture it. It was a mission. I was not going to accidentally take out another chikorita, and we were right. Maybe things were turning around. We did actually capture it. We may start having some good luck right now. A while later, we were just roaming this extreme hills, and an Entei out of nowhere just spawns. I don't know what it is with me and legends. They're so good. And then we had a more wild boss. There's no way we're taking this boss out. It was a mega, I'm pretty sure. We just need to leave that alone. But this Entei, oh my god, just like the Keldeo, took out my Dratini like it was nothing. He then took out Wilma. He took out Chikorita. I was just trying to do a bit of damage. That's all I wanted to do. Abra, yeah, there was no point using Abra. And then Gyarados, I was smart. I just ran. And what we did, throw as many Pokeballs at it as we could. We have what? 29 Great Balls, 6 Ultra Balls, 10 Quick Balls, and 11 levels. We ended with nothing. We have 8 Quick Balls left. The only thing I could do was run away and just hope that I could find another village to stock up on Pokeballs again. But mark my words, we will get a really good legend. I am counting on it that we are going to get one. The gym leader Eagle came out again, a 4-star Glalie Den. I don't know why I backed myself to do this. Although my Whaler was taken out, the Tyrantrum was incredible. He kept using Stone Edge, which was so good against the Glalie. The Dynamax energy ran out. I did absolutely no damage, and the Tyrantrum literally took it out for us. We managed to get quite a few good things. We got Ice Stones, XP Candies, Diamonds. The only thing I wanted to do was give the XP Candies to Dratini again, because I want this Dragonite so soon, and I think this is the best way. It's the easiest way to level him up anyway, and there was a good amount of levels. I focused on training my team, and we beat this Whismur, which meant that my Squirtle could evolve into a Wartortle, and it's exciting. For me, Squirtle is my favorite starter Pokemon. Let me know yours down in the comments below. Do you like Charmander? Maybe it's the latest gen ones, but let me know which one's your favorite. Having a Blastoise soon come into the team is going to be amazing. We went on with this Larvitar raid right next to us. It was on 3.4%, and then for some reason it just exploded. I still don't know why that happens. If you know, let me know. And then as we came out, there was a shiny Machop. I don't know what's happening with this series. It's going so well so far. We paralyzed it with Dratini, and we finally caught it. We've also done another goal. We've captured a shiny. That's actually really good. We're doing well so far. We did have a bit of a shaky start, but it seems like it's turning around. I kept training my team, and it's so good to train water Pokemon here. They just get one-shot. Roly-Colies, Geodudes. They're no match for water Pokemon. Unless the Geodudes have Sturdy, then it becomes a bit annoying. But then again, the unthinkable happens. I'm just roaming around, just happily training my team, and all of a sudden we see another legend spawn. It's another Entei. I thought this time was going to be my time to capture it, so I had to find it. The Geodude decided to just rock up and ruin my day, and like we said, it had Sturdy. But we got rid of that. We went to the Entei, tried our hardest. Now, Dratini used a Thunder Wave first and it missed. Tried again and it worked, which was amazing. We used Wilma to just brine it down to about 50%, and then that got taken out. Wartortle also got taken out. It was left to Gyarados, who got taken out. The rest of the team had nothing that they could do, and I just had to say bye to another legend. It's always sad. I don't know what it is. Now, this is what I was talking about. Colossal. I think this is the 3rd evolution stage for that Pokemon. It's Roly-Coly, Carkol, and then Colossal, I think. But that's actually really good, and he gives so much XP. He's level 35, I'm level 18, but because I'm water, I do so much damage. It gave me quite a few levels, which was good. I grew to level 20 something. We're actually getting closer to getting a Blastoise, and I did not want Protect. Thought about it, but then I just left it. I left Extreme Hills to adventure a bit, and we found one of the Urshifu Towers. Now, if we want the other one, we want the water one, we need Rapid Strike, and that's the blue tower, not the purple. But we finally found a swamp, so I decided to stay here for a little bit just to see if I could find a Froakie, because Greninja's a very strong Pokemon. Froakie didn't spawn, so we moved on to the Savannah biome, and there were so many Rhyhorn just huddled. Wartortle went through them so quickly. I just need a better move on my Wartortle. He has Water Pulse so far. I don't know if I can maybe move relearn, but we haven't really got the greatest move so far. That was easy XP though, and we finally did find another water Pokemon. It was a Buizel. Now, I love Buizel from the anime. He turns into Floatzel. We decided to capture it. If we want to use him, we can use him in the future. I'm not sure if I will though, but I really like the Pokemon. The Pokestop was my save and grace again. That Entei took so many of my Pokeballs. We get revives, we get Pokeballs from it, and we also got an XP candy. I gave it to Dratini, but it's not doing that much. The levels are going up quite a lot, and it's going to be hard to keep up with just leveling up by fighting random Pokemon. So we're going to have to do a lot of grinding here. As I was sailing the seas, I saw this giant giant whale-looking fish, which I've never seen. I know it's Dondozo, but I thought that would also be another good addition. We'd have 2 big tanks. I used Wartortle to get him weak, and we finally did capture him. So we have 2 big tanks on our team. That's actually quite good. I kept sailing out, and I saw a raid den in the distance. They just give you good XP. It's always good to do. It was a Marini one, so this was worthwhile because Marini is a water poison. So that's a very good Pokemon for type coverage, especially because we're just a water team right now. He didn't give us anything else that was good, so I wanted to try and capture it. I used just a normal Great Ball, and we just had to pray that this went with 3 stars, and it did. We actually captured it, so we actually have good coverage on our team right now. Once I found land, I came across what I hoped to be a village because I needed more Pokeballs, but it was basically a daycare. I've never used one. If you know how they work in Pixelmon, let me know in the comments, and I might try it in another video. I don't know what it is. It's breeding, right? But I just wanted to basically take all their loot because I needed Pokeballs. The downstairs was also pointless. It looked really cool, and I didn't know you could get different color healing stations. But then we did eventually find a village with a boss uncommon Weedle, which we used Wartortle to essentially take it out. I did get poisoned on the way. I don't know how. It used poison sting the Weedle. I don't know how a Weasel is tanking so much damage, but we took it out and we just got an extra small rare candy. It wasn't really worthwhile win, to be honest. I went back to leveling up and we found an Onyx. Now, I actually really wanted to capture this Onyx just to have in a team, but because we're just water-based, there's no point. I know I would capture it just to have Pokemon collection, but I would want to use it, and I just thought it's best not to do that. Then we found a Charmander, which was amazing. Currently, my Dragonite is not available. I can't use him yet. It's still a Dratini. So I did kind of want a Charizard to try and fly on, but it wasn't that high a level. It was still just good to have in general. I was able to find this Rookidee. It was a rare boss, which is probably going to be quite difficult. It was level 53 and we're only level 16. I don't know why I threw Dratini out. I thought I could paralyze it, but it didn't work. Whelmer tanked so many hits and just kept using Brine. We just needed to take down some damage so the rest of my team could finish it off, and that's all it was. This is why I chose Whelmer, because he is such a big tank. Dondozo came out in the end. Again, big tank, just needed to do damage so that Gyarados or Wartortle can basically finish off the fight. And that's literally what happened. But we had to use basically our whole team to fight this one boss. Wartortle finished it off nearly all the way with this one bite, but he survived on 1.5. Why could it not just have fainted? Because we had 8 health. If that took us out, I don't think Marini does that for us, but it was worthwhile because we got calcium plus an XP candy large. Now the XP candy large we gave to Dratini and it gave 10,000 XP. We, of course, wanted to learn agility, so I swapped Leer out for it. But then right next to us, we had a Mega Swampert spawn in, which absolutely rolled through my team. I never will fight a Mega Swampert again because that was the easiest thing it had to do. But in game, I decided to do it again for some odd reason, but then a Keldeo spawned on me at the same time. So thankfully, I ran away from the battle. We tried to find the Keldeo, and it just kept one-shotting all of my team, just like the other one. And I decided, enough's enough. I don't want that. I'm going back to fighting little Corphish for levels, and that's what we did. I left the swamp biome and found this, like, water city. I don't know what you would call it. It looked cool. That tower reminds me of the one in Canada. Is it the one in Canada? It's the Drake one. I have no idea. But near the top, there's a chest hidden just here. So if you ever climb it, make sure you go into it. It just has some tools. It can be useful if you're doing a proper survival, but I was just basically doing 100 days, so I don't need them. That's an elevator, which I need to find out what it does. And just the view. Look at how amazing this city looked. I wish I lived here. But I made sure to test out this elevator on the way down. I'm surprised this works in a pre-generated game. That was impressive, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I want to do that again. I then did what I do best, and that is steal from everyone. I don't know how I'm supposed to be the best gym leader when I go around stealing everything, but it was actually a really good idea to do because this next chest had a bike in it, and bikes are really good. Considering I don't have a Charizard or even a Dragonite yet, I want to use the Aqua Bike because they're so fast. I swapped out the pickaxe to make sure I had a more durable one. And then in this, like, TCG shop, it was massive. I don't know why a TCG shop needs to be this big on Pokemon, but fair enough. I was trying to get a pack for free, but I noticed in the back the Team Aqua set. I, of course, needed just the helmet, so I, of course, technically stole it. Let's say we're borrowing. I stole it, used it, so now if we go underwater, we have infinite air, essentially. Now, I did find out this is the water gym, which we will not be doing yet. We're not high enough leveled, so we're just gonna run away. I swam to shore, thinking, what is this Pokemon? It's a Mantine? I don't know how you say it. But I wanted to test out my brand new bike because I think it's really fast. I've used it once and it was on a different server and they were really good. And the best thing about it climbs hills like it's nothing. The bike essentially led me to a desert village, which was so helpful. Like I said, I had no Pokeballs left. I had nothing after the Keldeo and the Entei, but this had so many different little marts, so we just took everything. I stayed around because I could fight Magmars with my water team, and it just gave me so much XP because the Magmar's level 25. It's essentially, what, a second evolution? Third evolution? Second evolution. And it gives so much XP, so we essentially put Crunch onto the Gyarados. And Gyarados just went ham. He just went around killing every single Magmar in sight. Now, after fighting this Launcher, we came out and saw this. And I know Primarina is a decent water-type Pokemon, but I've never used it. I've never used a Brionne. I've never used any of the evolution line at all. But I know it's ranked quite highly, so I thought we might as well go into battle with it. We'll just use a few crunches, a few bites, and we'll try and capture it. We did capture it. Hopefully, it's going to be a good addition to the team. I've never used it, so I don't know too much about it, but we swapped out for Marini. Now, you guys are going to think I'm cheating, but as I was just roaming this desert, we had another legend spawn on us, this time a Hooper. Again, I don't know too much about Hooper. It's a decent Pokemon. I know it has 2 forms, but I definitely wanted to capture it, especially considering I've not been able to capture a legendary this whole time, and we're not so far into it, but we are getting through these 100 days quite fast. Now, I didn't want to use any moves on me. My Brionne was able to put it to sleep, so I then just chipped away at it in terms of damage. Disarming Voice did next to nothing. 4.5%. I was gonna say 5%, but people would have slaughtered me for the maths. But Gyarados, oh my god, Gyarados' Crunch does so much damage. So we used it twice. We used a Crunch and a Bite, and that essentially took it down to 12.3%. We just kept throwing Pokeballs at it. Thankfully, we had Dusk Balls because it eventually turned to night and the Dusk Ball worked. We captured the Hooper. Now, we just need to find a way to put better moves on it. It's in a confined form. I forgot how to get it out of that and make it have the 10 arms or 5 arms, but we'll find that out eventually, I guess. Now, in the same desert, we found a Geodude boss rare, and it's level 50. We have a very, very weak team here, but Welma, I don't know how, he tanked the hit. And that's all he needed to do, because water moves will do so much damage. Thankfully, he's on 25%. So if I can take it out with the next Pokemon, I don't know why I used Disarming Voice here. That was a mistake. Let's pretend that did not happen. But essentially, Brionne fainted. We used Dondozo, who dove under. He actually was able to tank the first hit. Missed the second hit because he's dove under, essentially. We have to pretend. And he took him out. And this was so good. We found a Scroll of Waters. And I want the Kung-Fu. I want the Single Strike Urshifu, because that's the water one, and if we can get him now, we've essentially got a very good team. More traveling meant I found another Arceus Arc Chalice, and at this point I think we just have to get the plates, because we've seen the big monument, is that what it was, the big construction site, and we've seen that. Not far from that, we came across this like grass village which had a level 14 trainer in it. I wanted Dratini to get some levels, and one thing I didn't know, when you use Dragon Tail, it keeps swapping out the Pokemon. It forces the Pokemon out. But essentially, Dratini was able to tank hits. He was also able to do a lot of damage. So I just kept him out. He took Slowpoke out with this one hit after tanking a headbutt. So that means the Slowpoke goes down. It's only 189 XP, but it's still good for Dratini. And the Raticate also went down to another Dragon Tail. That's all that person had. I mean, it's decent XP. I then found out this was not a grass village. It was a grass gym. So I just left it and ran away. Now, I kept swapping between deserts and extreme hills just to train my team because it was the best to do it. They take them out so easily. But I decided to go against this Hakamoa, and he wasn't really using any moves that affected my team. He was just using like Leah. So my Welma just kept doing chip damage. Gyarados came out to do even more chip damage, which wasn't the greatest. It was just hit or miss. And then I realized in my head, I could have used Primarina all this time, who has psychic moves, and it can easily take out the dragon like it was nothing. Left it down at 6.5%. So my Brionne just used the psychic move, took him out. And this was a good thing because it actually led to an evolution. If I didn't realize that, we would have just ended up using our water Pokemon and not had this evolution happen so quick. Because he was such a high level, it gave me so much XP. But now we get this Primarina. We can see whether or not it's actually really good at Pokemon, because I'm not too sure. I've not really heard too much of it. I don't like the look of it that much. It's okay, but we'll see what happens. Dondozo finished this fight with the Onix. He doesn't do a lot of damage, I'm not gonna lie, but it's a decent amount. He just tanks a lot. And in the distance, I did spot a Charmeleon. I was surprised that the second evolution spawned, because that's a very rare spawn. But then I was even more surprised to learn that it was level 36. So I was like, there's a no-brainer. We have to capture this. Gyarados took him down a few levels. He just used Crunch and Dragon Breath, essentially. Gyarados is able to tank that very easily. And we threw an Ultra Ball when he was on 17%, and it actually worked. We captured the Charmeleon, so we just need to level him up once, and he'll turn into a Charizard, essentially. A move tutor did pop up, so I wanted to take the Hooper to it, because Hooper's moves are so pointless. Destiny Bond is good, yes, but the rest of his moves, he does nothing. It's just status effects, if anything, that boost his own stats. And I wanted to get Ice Punch and Thunder Punch, but we needed to quickly gather up these resources to do so. Thankfully, it wasn't like 16, because I only had 3 there. Thunder Punch we gave him instead of Trick Room, and we got these Amethysts because then we could get Ice Punch, and we swapped that out for Guard Split because Destiny Bond will prove to be quite useful. I defeated this Machoke with my Charmeleon because I just needed someone to fly on for the distance. The bike was okay, but flying is so much easier, and this Mega Ampharos spawns in. But the problem is I didn't have my PC, I left it, and I needed my Hooper, so I quickly ran to get it. By the time I went back, he just disappeared. It's like the Keldeo all over again. He disappeared into thin air. I then took on this Explode, and Charmeleon does decent damage. He tanked a lot, but the Explode also didn't use many physical attacks on me. So Charmeleon was able to stay in. I did have to use a big potion on him at one point just to keep him in the fight because I wanted this one level just to get the Charizard. And it was useful. I mean, Explode was paralyzed from the Dragon Breath that my Charmeleon has. We took it out. We could finally have a Charizard. I know I have Charizards a lot on my series. I'm pretty sure I have one in every episode. If I don't, let me know in the comments down below, but I'm not too sure. But at least we have someone to fly on. I'm not going to use him in gym fights or anything. Don't worry about that. It's literally just to go around. And like I said, I've got to be the best gym leader. I can't have the worst Pokemon. Now, Dratini's only physical attack is Dragon Tail, and for some reason that keeps forcing Pokemon out of battles. So I had to throw him out and just swap to a different Pokemon so that they could finish the fight. Because it's Colossal and we've got decent water Pokemon, we can easily do that. But it's just annoying because I needed to get a better move on my Dratini. We took out the Colossal, which was quite easy to do with Wartortle, and that meant Dratini evolves into a Dragonair, which was really cool to see because I've never had a Dragonite on a series, I don't think. Maybe once, but again, I'm not too sure. I didn't even get to use it that well if I did. But this was really cool to see because we can have one from the beginning, level him up through Dragonair, then to Dragonite, and of course we need to get better moves on him. I kept mining away in case I found another move tutor, and I didn't want to lose it or have it despawn. And in the distance, we saw a shiny Roly-Coly. I was a bit worried that this would have been a boss, but it wasn't. It was another shiny. So we've done 2 shinies in one episode. That's pretty good. We had 1 goal as just for 1 shiny, which wasn't too bad. I decided I don't want to fight anymore. 1 straight quick ball was enough to capture this, and I was surprised because from the beginning, you guys know how difficult this was in the beginning, but all of a sudden the luck was turning around. As the days passed, a trainer appeared on the mountains, and it was cool to see. If you give him a Rotom, he gives you a Ditto. I've never seen that. That was quite cool. This Extreme Hills was just non-stop because then we had a Geodude boss. I think this is a legendary one. Now, we tried something here. My Hooper has Destiny Bond. I failed using it. I used it first when I should have used it second. I really thought the Geodude would have one-shot my Hooper though. So what we had to do, leave the battle, we had to refresh our team's health, come back into it, use an Ice Punch just to pretend like we're not going to do that to Geodude. Then we got to use our Destiny Bond. Geodude took us out, and that meant we took the Geodude down with us. But it was good because we got an XP Candy Large, XP Share, which was huge. It was taking so long to level these guys up. And we also got a Stone Plate, which was good for getting Arceus. Now, thankfully, giving this XP Candy to Dragonair was good because it meant we could actually teach him Aqua Tail. We swapped a Wrap out for that, and we finally had a good move that we can use on our Dragonair. Wartortle took out this Drillbur, and this was good because he gave us a Quick Claw. Now, if you guys don't know what Quick Claw is, essentially it means if you give it to your Pokemon to hold in battle, they sometimes have the chance of going first. So let's say it's a Blastoise, he's slow. they have the chance to sometimes hit first. And that fight meant that we also got a Blastoise. My sad thing with this is, look at the size of my Blastoise. He's smaller than me. Why is he smaller than me? But I did end up giving him the quick claw because I know he's not going to be the quickest. It will help in the battles. Now, I pushed all of my party to essentially level 50. Some of them just under about 48, 49. But then we got on the Charizard. We flew over the lands and we moved on with our adventure. We were able to find these little desert temples with master balls in, and yes, it's a silver bottle cap. You guys know what I'm going to do to it. It's definitely going to end up on the floor. I know you guys hate me for that. I'm sorry. On the quest to find more master ball loot, I was able to find a desert temple, which actually, they can be really good because they can give you relic statues, they can give you relic vases, however you say them, and you can sell them for a lot of money at the shop. Now, we searched the chests. This one didn't really have any in the first two, but it did have a relic band, which can be sold to shopkeepers. It's worth quite a lot. There was actually 2 in here, so I think it's 30 grand. It used to be a lot more though. When I left the temple, there was a trainer just waiting. So this is technically our first proper battle. It's a level 40 trainer with a Weezing. Now, we just attacked it with Aqua Tail. We did a decent amount of damage. I actually like Weezing quite a lot. On the new Pokemon TCG app, I use Weezing, the Dark deck, and it's a really good deck to use. His Houndour used Smog and my Blastoise avoided it, so we used Aqua Tail, and yet we took it straight out. He had another Zubat, so Blastoise, I had him use Flash Cannon instead of Aqua Tail, and Flash Cannon did a lot more damage. His Zubat used Supersonic, so I became confused. My Blastoise still used Aqua Tail, took him out, and the number to end the battle was taken out by my Blastoise's Aqua Tail, and we won. We ran through that player's whole Pokemon team like it was nothing. Feeling good about my win, I decided to find more desert temples. They're always just so easy to find when you have a flying type Pokemon. We had a Power Lens in that one. We did find another temple which had a flame plate inside, and then we got a Soldew from that Master Ball loot, so we can't complain. I then just went on a montage of just finding them. You can see we got a few good things. I mean, Focus Sash is good. If your Pokemon loses all of his HP in one go, it can hold on to 1 HP. It's basically like Sturdy, but a lot of the stuff we didn't keep. As you can see, we just let it all go. I'm not too bothered about it. I'm not going too hard in terms of Pokemon training. So if you guys are angry about me throwing stuff, I'm sorry. But this village did have its own little gym, so I wanted to take it on and test my skills. We started with this level 30 trainer who we easily defeated. Gyarados, as you can see, took out 2 of his Pokemon like it was nothing. 3 make that with the Slugma. So I didn't show you guys that much because it was very boring. We moved on to the level 40. He threw out a Lunatone and nearly one-hit my Dragonair. My Dragonair used Dragon Tail, which made his Lunatone swap out to the Haunter. His Haunter did take out my Dragonair, but there's nothing wrong with that. We had Blastoise to clean up. Then it was Blastoise versus Hippowdon, and the Hippowdon was a tanky boy. Blastoise's Aqua Tail nearly one-hit him, but it didn't fully. His Hippowdon almost took my Blastoise out with 1 go, but thankfully Blastoise is a tanky boy. He finished the Hippowdon in 2 hits like it was nothing, and then he had a Bronzong who he threw out. The Bronzong did actually take out my Blastoise, but it's fine because we had Big Boy Wailord to come in and do some damage. He actually left the Bronzong paralyzed, which is good for us. To speed things up, it was Cacturn versus Primarina. My Primarina used Sparkling Aria to take out the Cacturn. The Lunatone that withdrew earlier on in the match was last left alive. My Primarina easily took that out. The Claydol was 1 hit by my Primarina's Sparkling Aria. Primarina has proved to be such a good addition to the team. And there we go, 2 out of 3 done. Now, they are pretty much the same Pokemon, so I skipped to the end. My Gyarados easily went through this, took the Hippowdon out, and we've claimed this gym as our own. We are coming up as such a great gym leader. We've literally claimed the whole gym for ourselves. Like, we can't ask for any more so far. I kept on the search for 1 single Master Ball, but no, it was a Choice Scarf. One of our biggest findings, though, was this next desert village, which had 4 different gyms we could fight, plus an Arceus temple shrine. I don't know what you would call it, but with how many times we have seen these Arceus shrines around, especially now this desert one, there's no reason for us not to actually get this. The new mission is to get Arceus. Now, as there were 4 different gyms, I wanted to test myself and I wanted to claim this whole village for my own. So we started with arguably the toughest one. This was a level 50. Bear in mind, some of our Pokemon aren't even level 50 yet. So our Blastoise did some damage to this Clefable. The Clefable was proving quite difficult because it had not Protect, it had something similar, and it kept using that and then using Leftovers. It was Protect. It kept using Protect and using Leftovers to regain its health. My Blastoise sadly was then taken out by the Clefable. My Gyarados followed shortly after. It was my fault. I messed up this whole attack. But the Wailord came out. He tanked the first hit, which was quite good. And then he dove down and actually one-hit this Dugtrio, which was actually really good. I was surprised. I didn't think that he would be able to do this much damage. The Excadrill took out my Wailord and my Primarina, who I thought would have been able to take out Excadrill, but it didn't have it in him or her. I actually don't know if it's a he or a she. It came down to Charizard versus Camerupt. Sadly enough, we weren't strong enough. Our Charizard fainted and we lost. That was one of the biggest upsets that I've ever had on this. However, I didn't stop there. I couldn't let that one defeat ruin my good form. Remember, all great people have to take losses in order to learn from their mistakes. So we moved on to this level 30 trainer and easily moved past it. The hardest Pokemon it had was Cacnea because it absorbed all of my water moves, which was just really annoying. But then as soon as it came to the last 3 or 4, we one-hit them. Gabite, one hit. Graveler was one hit. We were moving through it so quickly. Even the Diglett had nothing. Slugma, again, one hit. It was so easy. Then came the level 40. Now the level 40, still, it's not too far off the 50. It still would be a challenge. So we had the Magmar, who Blastoise easily took out in one go. He then threw out a Drapion. Drapion's good. It actually tanks a lot of my hits somehow. The Drapion survived with just less than 50% health. So we had to do 2 hits. Blastoise can tank, which was good for us. And then he threw a Cacturn. Now these Cacturns and these Cacnea, they're really annoying to fight against. I know they technically are the counter to water types, but it's just annoying. Blastoise's Quick Claw let me use Flash Cannon first, and we easily took out the Cacturn. It came down to the Bronzong, who tanked the hit again and then took out the Blastoise. We threw out Gyarados, who used Aqua Tail to finish off the Bronzong, which was really easy, and then a Lunatone was thrown out. Gyarados was able to tank the first hit and then one-hit the Lunatone. Crocodile was the next Pokemon thrown out, and it easily killed our Gyarados. Crocodile is actually a really good Pokemon. I was surprised how much damage it did to me. But we had Wailord out next, who tanked the hit, used Brian, and basically nearly one-hit the Crocodile. So we do lose Wailord here, but I was confident in Primarina that she could clean up the rest of this battle for us. She used Sparkling Aria, or he used Sparkling Aria, easily took out the Crocodile, and we won the battle. It even learned Moonblast, which we swapped for Hyper Voice. Now the next gym in this village had level 40, 40, and level 30 trainer. Now we know we can easily take these on, so we had to go all of them again. Blastoise took out the remainder of the team very easily. It was Slugma versus Blastoise. Blastoise avoided the first attack and very quickly put Slugma to bed. The next battle was a bit closer. Blastoise started off against Magmar and easily got rid of the Magmar. The problem was Crocodile was the next one out, and we know Crocodile can cause a lot of damage to our team. Crocodile basically took down my Blastoise like it was nothing. He tanked the first hit as if he was a gym leader's top Pokemon. Technically he is, considering he's in here. He took out Primarina too. I didn't know what to do here. I panicked, I was shocked, I was very confused. He nearly took out my Gyarados, but Gyarados was quicker, which was our main benefit. Cacturn did take Gyarados out, so we had to swap out to Hooper, who almost one-hit this Cacturn, but he was able to regain health off the berry that he was holding. Wailord came into play literally just as a sacrificial lamb. I'm so sorry, Wailord, but you have so much HP, it makes no sense not to use you in that way. We used him to bring back Gyarados, who went up against a Bronzong who was paralyzed, and that was perfect for us. We easily took Bronzong out. We were down to Drapion left. Gyarados was burned, which makes no sense. How is he burned when he's a water type? He can literally just spray water on himself. Where is the common sense? Anyway, Lunatone took out Gyarados. We had Blastoise versus Lunatone. I just hit one last ditch effort of an Aqua Tail and we took him out. It came down to that one last move and we won. The third gym trainer in this battle, it was basically Santa Claus. I don't know why Santa Claus is here. I don't know why he's around lava. It doesn't make sense to me either. But we took out the first Pokemon. Hippowdon, he battled valiantly, I'll give you. It was a valiant effort. But Blastoise easily put him to bed. We then had Bronzong, who has been quite difficult for us. I'd say the hardest challenge we've had is Crocodile and Clefable. Those have been... You know what? And this Cacturn. He keeps regenerating all of his health, and it's so annoying. But Primarina showed why she is one of the top water type Pokemon. Took the Cacturne out like it was nothing. Took the Haunter out like it was nothing. Came up against Claydol. One hit the Claydol like he was nothing as well. I was shocked. I was like, you've earned every bit of your money here. This Primarina was so good. Now we had one of our toughest challenges. We had 2 level 50s and a 30. And considering we lost the first level 50 battle, we had a lot to make up for. We easily took care of this level 30 trainer. That was the easiest thing possible. All of this training has been good because we've leveled up a lot of Pokemon here. Now, we ran through this battle. Blastoise fainted to the Excadrill, but that's not to worry because we still had a lot of Pokemon left. We essentially ran through with Gyarados, who used Waterfall. As we can see here, the Dugtrio tried to use Earthquake, and it doesn't affect Gyarados because he's a water flying, which is perfect for us. We easily took care of the Dugtrio. Dunsparce was left, and that felt so much easier to do because although Gyarados fainted, we had Primarina to finish that up and to finish off this Mandibuzz, who did use Roost, but Primarina one-hit it. Like, I love Primarina now. It's such a good Pokemon. Even the Camerupt, that's 1 level 50 down like it was nothing. We then had the Volcarona, who was new to us. We haven't actually versed the Volcarona, but because we're all water team based, it was so easy. I think Volcarona's good, but it just wasn't good enough against us. Now, Camerupt somehow took out my Blastoise, which made no sense. Wailord one-shot that Onix, which was amazing to see, and then didn't do enough damage against this Druddigon here. Gyarados was able to finish off the battle strong for us, taking out the Dunsparce, and we easily beat the next level 50. I think we can do this whole gym. We can claim this as ours. Now, this was the last gym in the village. It was 2 level 50s and 1 level 30. As you can see, we had 1 Pokemon left. 1 Blastoise versus 1 level 50 Camerupt. My Blastoise tanked it. He was on 3. I thought to myself, we're just going to go for Aqua Tail. If it hits, it hits. And we one-shot the Camerupt. We completed the whole village and took everybody out. But there was still one thing that was annoying me. We lost to the first trainer who was a level 50. So we had to come back for redemption, and we came back strong. We went Gyarados against Dugtrio. Gyarados one-shot the Dugtrio like it didn't even exist. He one-shot the Camerupt, and we won the battle. So far, the Gym Leader Challenge is going strong. We have claimed 1 village. We've claimed a whole entire new village. We've taken out every trainer possible, and it doesn't look like there's any stopping us. Now, I did have to just go somewhere really quick as I was AFK. I came back, and I don't know how this Groudon was here, but we have to defend our village. This is now our village. We can't let a random primal Groudon just walk over everything. But as you can see, it didn't go to plan. But I had a new plan. Give Hooper the Quick Claw and hope that he attacks first with Destiny Bond. And it worked. That's all we had to do. This is why I'm the gym leader. I have the quick smarts, the quick thinking, and I don't want to learn Rain Dance. We let that go. But he did give us, I don't want to use the Dynamax candies. I don't think I'm going to use it, or should I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments. But we had Ultra Necrosium Z. That's for Necrozma. Is that yeah, but I don't have that. But there you go. We are claiming this as Joshyland. Whilst checking the borders of my region, I noticed another village which needed to be put into line. They still thought that they could work by themselves. They didn't want to be ruled by myself. They didn't want me as the ruler of the region. So we had to correct that really quick. First, we looted their desert temple, took their relic statue. No, this is my region. Technically, what's mine is theirs, okay? But we took their relic statue and then went against the best that they had to offer. Level 30, 40, and 50s. Gyarados made light work of this level 30 and finished the battle strong. We moved on to the level 40 Pokemon, who had a Drapion as its last Pokemon, whereby Primarina could just finish it off, where we could then move on to the level 50. There were still 2 other villages in this area, but by finishing this whole gym strong, this would strike fear into their hearts. And that's exactly what we did. Primarina finishing every battle strong for us. This next gym had a level 50, level 30, and a level 30. And of course, you guys know, we made very light work of both the level 30s. They were genuinely no match. So we moved straight to the 50, who had a Volcarona. Blastoise could easily beat this. Somehow this one was faster than us, which was quite cool to see because usually we've just easily taken them out. The final gym in this little village, level 40, a level 30, and a level 40. Now, of course, we just started with the level 30, easily took him out. Then we moved to the level 40, who was very easy to defeat. And that actually meant the final level 40 gave us an evolution, and it was our Dragonair. We were finally getting a Dragonite. I've waited so long for this Dragonite. I had it from the beginning, where it had no moves. It had Dragon Tail, which did not let me get any XP because every Pokemon was forced out of fights. But we finally have the big man himself, Dragonite. And what? Oh my god. It's literally a legendary. I don't care if it's pseudo-legendary. It's a legendary. Now we lay our mark again. This is now Joshyland region. We've not just got Joshyland. We now have the whole region to claim for ourselves. The only thing left was to find Master Balls. We flew on our Dragonite and finally found one. This was such a good feeling. We took out so many gyms and then we found Master Balls. We are literally becoming the top gym leader. Focus Sash, I actually wish I kept one, but then we had this. So I was AFK here. I came back and it was walking outside. I tried to capture it a few times. By turn 16, I was fed up of it. I just punched it in the head. Ice punch, froze it, and just let it faint. I did not want anything more to do with a Keldeo. Now that we have our Master Ball, we found some legendaries. I wanted to find a Mega Gyarados. I came across this shipwreck and gave both defense boosting, HP up, and calciums to Wailord because he's our big tank. He's the one who needs them. I could have done Blastoise, but they worked better for Wailord. Then whilst I was waiting for this Mega Gyarados, a Mega Sharpedo spawned out of nowhere, and my god, it is so fast. Now I know why it's combined with the name of a torpedo. I couldn't keep up with it at all. It was just gone in the distance. There was no catching this thing at all. It was there, and then it flew past all these like reefs, would you call them? And I could not see it. It was gone. It didn't exist anymore. After all my patient waiting, I finally saw the red Gyarados on my minimap. And this was such a happy sight because I've been here for so long at this same place. All we need to do is let our Hooper just have one destiny bond. It didn't work. So you guys know the play. We come back into the fight, hope that we can use Quick Claw first. And it did let us do it. So we took out the Gyarados and we can claim the Gyarados, but it also gave us a Pixie Plate or a Mind Plate. A Mind Plate, which was really good because we're getting closer and closer to Arceus if we want to do it. I always go for the Mega Band. It looks so much cooler in my opinion. It reminds me of like Ben 10. I kept searching because you can never have too many Master Balls, and somehow I managed to pull another one. My luck this video has just been incredible. As I flew home with all my treasures, we then had a Hooper spawn on us. As I was just turning around to do like a cinematic thing, I noticed it behind me, but I didn't want to capture it. I just let it be free. And it was now time to allow challengers from all over the world come and face me and my team to see if they can claim the gym badge. As the new region champ, I had to face off against waves of different trainers who wanted to come and take my title from me and claim the new badge. Having my daily team discussions with Blastoise when I sensed someone behind me. When I turn around, we had a new challenger. Now this person thinks that they can beat me and claim my gym badge, but that's not going to happen. So you're the new region champ. Yes, of course I am. So he starts with a Venusaur. This could be very bad for me. I think this is going to be very, very bad. He's got a Seed Bomb. He's going to keep leeching. Does a Flash Cannon do enough? Oh, Flash Cannon was perfect. Charizard. This is that typical spoiled rich kid. He's been given all these incredible Pokemon. And he doesn't know what's good for him. Tauros. I mean, it's good in normal and in TCG, but for this, coming against the new champ, I don't think that was going to work. Is that it? My Pokemon, yeah, run off. Look, that's why I have a Pokemon Center right there. Okay, so the first one was fine. First one was easy. Whilst waiting for more challenges, I found more Master Ball loots, but I've already been to this one, and this time I kept the Focus Sash, because if someone's about to get knocked out, it can keep them on 1 HP, which is really good. I was then happily wandering my gym when I felt someone was watching me. I turned around to see another person who wanted to go at the gym. We accepted his challenge and fought right outside the gym. We didn't even need to go inside the gym. He had a Wormadam, which is not a bad Pokemon, I'd say, but Blastoise very easily took care of that Pokemon to begin with. Then he threw out Leavanny, which was Leavanny? It's the same thing, but that was a bit more of a challenge because he's a grass type, I think, and it tanked a few of my hits. Thankfully, Blastoise is a big tank, so it doesn't really matter. We got rid of the Leavanny. I don't know how you say that. And he then threw out Venomoth, who we could easily handle again with Blastoise. Blastoise is too strong. I don't even think we're going to need to use a different Pokemon so far, but he was faster than me though. But Aqua Tail, again, easily takes it out. He throws out Beautifly, and we easily take that out. The last Pokemon he had was a Butterfree. Again, Aqua Tail is just too strong for any Pokemon so far. Now, I was exploring the village some more, and I was just looting some of the chests, and I came across this one house which I've never been in. So I decided to go inside, and inside there was a person. I've never seen her before, and she was Professor Raz, maybe the professor of this town. She said an ancient Pokemon once visited us here. His shrine has sadly since been destroyed by a terrible force. There are echoes of special plates which can be used to revive him. However, the quest is dangerous and takes place in another world. She has to be talking about Ultra Space and 100% Arceus, so that's the plan. We're going to get Arceus, but not before we beat another challenger who wants to try and claim the gym badge. He started with Pikachu, which was a good idea, especially against the whole water team, but Flash Cannon was good against it, took it down to under half, and he didn't even attack me with an electric move, which I was very confused about. Flash Cannon finished it off, finally. He used Slam. Why aren't you going to use Thunderbolt or something? We used Flash Cannon on Serperior, which was also, again, decent amount of damage. You need to do a bit more damage, though, because Blastoise probably can't survive all of these, especially with him draining health from Blastoise, so we just use Rapid Spin to get rid of this Leech Seed. This is why it's good to keep Leech Seed, and he's also used Wrap, so we Rapid Spin again to get rid of the Wrap. Rapid Spin is overpowered. It's so good. It was a slow fight. We essentially got Serperior down to 19% because I was still wrapped. I was just taking tick damage, but we finally got rid of the Serperior. Blastoise fainted, so we threw out Gyarados and Mega Evolved him. We easily defeated that Leafeon, and I think his last Pokemon is an Electabuzz. Gyarados just used Waterfall and very easily took the Electabuzz out. So we've beaten another challenger. This gym badge is going nowhere. It's mine. I walked back to my gym and found a new challenger who wanted to try and get the gym badge. All the others have failed, but this one, there was something different. It was level 46. This one was a much nicer trainer, I will say, but they still wanted my gym badge, and I'm not giving that up. Blastoise was basically ineffective against this Lantern. It basically took me out and kept me paralyzed. And the Lantern, we got it down to 14, but that's not enough. Hooper came in and used Ice Punch, which took the Lantern out instantly. Hooper's literally been a saving grace at times. He felt weak against the Toxicroak and then did faint, so Wailord had to come in and body slam Toxicroak, which was really good. It did a lot of damage. It didn't paralyze him, but it still did a lot of damage. The Toxicroak did take out my Wailord, so we used Gyarados, Mega Evolved him, and just crunched the Toxicroak, which was just an easy kill. We then used Aqua Tail on Togedemaru, and this was quite good. I mean, Gyarados was paralyzed because it was faster than me, but we took it out in one shot. And we had Electivire next. Thankfully, he didn't use a physical move on me because I would have probably died, but Gyarados literally took it out in one go. Then we had Roserade. This is where the paralysis was annoying. I couldn't hit it, and it got me down to like 14 health. Gyarados did faint, but he did get one final hit. He got him down to 34%, but that just meant that Dragonite could come in, clean up crew, take out the Roserade, and actually finish the fight for us. Dragonite was so good. I'm so happy that we have this Dragonite, but that's another person who failed at taking this gym badge. This is mine. Just outside my desert region, a Mega Houndoom boss spawned, so we tried our Hooper trick, which did not work this time, but we just went out with Gyarados, Mega Evolved him, and he did a decent amount of damage. He did faint, he was on 2 HP, did a lot of damage, so we just ran through the rest of our team. Blastoise did a good amount of damage, got him quite low, and he tanked one hit, which was fine by me, as long as he does some damage. He tanked another hit, but we couldn't get the next hit in because he's quicker than me, so Wailord came in, actually finished up the fight for us, which was fine, and then this gave us a Stone Plate, XP Candy Large, and Houndoomite, which is good. So we now have 2 extra Mega Stones. We have XP Candy Large, and we have 5 plates already for Arceus. Like, this is going really well. We gave the XP Candy to Hooper, and I gave him a lot of XP. That was worth it. I had to go somewhere really quick, but again, as I came back, a Raikou spawned. And Raikou's my favorite out of the legendary beasts, so I wanted to capture it, but this one was such a pain. Oh my god. We got it low. Dragonite did a lot of damage. He literally can 3-shot it, most likely. Dragonite was able to get it down to 1.9%, and then it decided to struggle on turn 46 and just disappear from existence. And I was like, this took so long. So instead, I just gave it a little shrine. It was 2 glowstone, but it's fine. The next step was to wait for an ultra space wormhole so we can get the Arceus plates. But all of a sudden, I had this mega Camerupt boss spawn on me, and we did our usual trick. We used Destiny Bond, hoped that we would go first, and we actually did. I mean, this Hooper's really good considering that's a level 89. We easily beat it, and because we've already defeated it before, we don't get the orb again. But that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It was taking too long for an ultra space wormhole to spawn, so I found the nearest plains that I could and went on a search for sunflower plains. The closest one to me actually had some sunflower plains literally just in it. It wasn't the biggest area, so I don't know how well that would allow a Cosmog to spawn, but now all we had to do is wait. It took a lot of waiting, but we finally had a Cosmog spawn on us. Now, I panicked here because I didn't know where it was. It didn't spawn on the sunflowers. It was actually on the edge. That's why I'm so happy for the map, because I would have lost this and there was no way I would have found it. So on the edge next to a desert biome next to one sunflower, which made no sense. Now, this was tricky. This was very tricky. I was too high level for it, so I just tried to capture it just as soon as I went into battles, and it kept teleporting away. And I panicked again because I was like, where's it gone? Again, the map came in clutch. This time I used Scyther to try and get it weak, and we actually nearly took it out. That scared the life out of me. Teleported away again, but it was right next to us, and this time I was like, I'm literally just gonna throw a quick ball and see if it works. I was about to use a master ball because I did not want this to get away. The turn 1 quick ball was the best thing we ever chose to do because it saved me a whole master ball that I basically would have wasted if I just used it. Now all we had to do is find gym places to level up this Cosmog and get it into and turn it into a Solgaleo so we can just teleport into the ultra space whenever we want. I came across this random trainer as I was trying to find different gym places to find levels, and thankfully we did, because we only needed one more level to evolve him into a Cosmoem, and Blastoise literally just took everyone out. We gave the XP share to Cosmog for this reason, and he finally started to evolve, so we were getting closer and closer to getting this Solgaleo, and he was getting quite big. You know, I think this is going to be a massive model, but it looks really cool because I've never actually evolved one of these or even had the future evolutions. After multiple fights and multiple days, we came across the final gym leader who had a Dugtrio. Blastoise easily took that out, and my Cosmo finally grew to level 53, which meant he was going to evolve into a Solgaleo, and this was massive because now we could teleport into ultra space whenever we want. And look at how big this model is. It just kept stretching. I was like, what's happening? I didn't know how. I've never seen Solgaleo in a video game or even Pixelmon, so it looked so good. Like, look at it. It looks like a Power Rangers Megazord now that I think about it, but it looks really cool. Now all you do is you change his ability outside of battle and you press the button and boom, it spawns. Like, it couldn't have been any easier. We took Dragonite and flew straight into Ultra Space. Now, this one worked differently than my other videos. If you guys have seen it, check it out. First, that scared me. I didn't know what was going on. But the main thing is to find... They're like the normal overworld desert temples, and they basically have beast balls instead of master balls, and they have the plates in them. But I saw this 3-star breaks and raid fast, and I was like, we're definitely going to take that out because it might have given us better loot. We got it down to 1 hit, and we could finally take it out, but the rewards weren't really good, so I just left them all. Now, the thing is, after that fight, I went straight into this, and it was like 5 of them versing me, and then slowly I realized they were only fighting me. I initially thought it was a free-for-all, but they were only fighting me, and then I came to realize as soon as I ran, they were chasing me. I don't know why they were just aggro on me. They just wouldn't, and it was a level 100 Houndoom chasing me. I was scared. Okay, this was fearful. Literally, no matter where I went, they just attacked me. Look, the Riolu came out of nowhere and just wanted to fight me for no reason. The only thing I thought to do was just jump into another raid den, and it was a 4-star one, but it's a ground steel, so I mean, water types will be really good on it. We literally took it out very easily. There's so many good raid dens here, and they're all very high stars, so you get a lot of good rewards. Our Gyarados was taken out, but we still had the Mudbray alive, who just had to do like a tiny bit of damage, and we won. And this one gave good. We had XP Candy M, which was actually useful, and they jumped me again. I don't even know why. They just hate me. But that one said Pheromosa on the top, so I was very confused. So I tried looking on my map, and I couldn't find it, so we just left it because there was no point. Now, it got very hard to see, so I threw my bed out to sleep to try and make a day, and it blew up. That was scary in real life. I didn't know what happened. Now, it's these things you're looking for, exactly the same as desert temples, but the ultra space desert, and it's these beast balls, and straight away we got Fire EMZ. Now, some of them where they have the lanterns on the raid dens, you can dig underneath, and they sometimes have a beast ball hidden. It's just a little secret, so if you guys do it, and look, we got a dread plate, so that was worth doing. We found another one. Then they're always different. I mean, this one sometimes has it and sometimes doesn't, so you have to experiment. But I just dug down on this one, found it, and we got spooky plate, so we're so far doing quite well. The Houndoom raid den I just broke. I don't know, I should have probably done it and then went for the beast ball, but it's fine. I just wanted to find Arceus because we were shortening down on days, and we need to do this fast. But look, see, it's random, so this one I had to dig around a bit, and eventually we were able to find it, but it's like, it's not 100% guaranteed that it's even going to be there. But we got a sky plate from that one, which wasn't too bad. This next Torkoal one was again a similar thing. I mean, it's built differently, this raid den, so like I said, you have to experiment, but then it was very familiar. You just dig straight down, you have that little what would you call it? Scaffolding it sits on. That one gave us Dragonium, but it was still a decent find. Now this Ultra Space is very different to the one I usually play in, like I said, and it had this weird structure. So I thought I might be able to find a beast ball underneath this. So I broke this and proceeded to break this again. I thought these were going to be like normal cards I can open, but it was just lightning energy. But it was a hint for that. Like, I didn't expect myself to get hit by lightning. It literally told me what was going to happen, and I still broke it. Now these big pillars, I don't know why they're there or what they're even there. They might have stuff in the middle, but they have good loot on top, and they always have chests. I mean, we got 2 max revives from this one. Some of them even have very rare loot, like in this one, which had Porygon bodies. So if you kept going around, you could probably make a Porygon. The next one gave us some tools, a Thunderstone hammer and a Thunderstone shovel. I thought it would have been cool because I thought they were going to actually bring lightning down, but it doesn't. But this is what they're used for, so it slowly breaks that. And if you do it enough, it gives you the ore. I kept searching and thought it'd be easier to just find deserts because it's so much easier to see. And we had a Solgaleo spawn on us. I mean, we didn't need it because we already have one, but it was cool to see that they are the main ones that spawn in here because I didn't really see any other legendaries other than this one so far. We found the raid den, took it on, and it had so much Dynamax like health. 5-6 bars. We were able to take that down quite a bit, but then it slowly took out Tyrantrum, it took my Gyarados out, and then it decided to blow up. So we couldn't even try and capture it even if we wanted to. We went back to finding some more plates because that's the only reason I was here. I wanted to try and find it quick so we can get Arceus for our final battles and final days. This one actually gave us another XP share. You can get XP all, but you just have to be very lucky. I mean, we just kept going around non-stop, just digging. This one was a good one. I mean, it was annoying to get to, but once we got to it and we opened the beast ball, we found a zap plate, so we're actually getting through the challenge quite well. The next one gave us a mind plate, which was also very good. Then a meadow plate followed. Like, we were doing it, it looks fast on here, but that's because I've sped it up. That was a fist plate, but it took so much longer in real life. There's an insect plate, so we were getting through it quite well. I explored more of the ultra space and came across this weird yellow, it's like a reverse mesa, but it had this like weird sewer pipe drainage system. So I broke into it, and behind me there was a chest, but also a beast ball sitting on top. So if you explore enough, you could probably find a lot of beast balls and basically maybe finish the challenge, but it takes a lot longer. It's not, the drops are random and it's not easy to do. There's chests hidden throughout. This next one, I mean, it's green sewage stuff. It's kind of nasty, but I mean, this beast ball gave me another metal plate. We're stacking up on duplicates and we are getting quite a lot, so it's kind of worth it if you come around, and you do get very good chances of finding good raids, so you can get a lot of good Pokemon. Just make sure you have a high level team because everything wants to attack you. This next beast ball gave me a sky plate, which we already have, but thankfully the next one that we found gave me an earth plate, which is one we didn't have. So again, it's another one we needed. Later on throughout the journey, I found this raid den and it looked like a Charizard. We went into it and it actually was a Charizard, a 5-star Charizard raid den. He only had 4 Dynamax candy, which is confusing because lower Pokemon sometimes have more, but I guess it's how much Dynamax candy you give to it. We easily took it out. Our water Pokemon were just too good for it, but he kept getting so much Dynamax armor, which was so annoying. It took a while, but we eventually took it out, and it was good because it gave us so much loot. XP candies, we got so many berries, even some gems, a silver ball cap, which you guys know I hate. I never keep them, so if you're gonna hate me in the comments. I decided to just find more plates because we were losing out on time. We found a Draco plate, which we needed, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 plates now. We only needed four more. I thought it was 5. I was gonna say 4. Now 3. The splash plate meant 2 more. We needed an icicle plate and I think a normal plate, but that gave me an XP, which I was so happy to get because now my whole party levels up at the same time and it makes life so much easier. It was a blank plate and an icicle plate, and we only had the icicle plate left. Many days later, I was flying around on my Dragonite and saw this other Dragonite, level 100, and I don't know what it was. It was some weird color variation which looked quite spooky and weird. It took out my Dragonite and then basically took out my whole team, including my Solgaleo, and it sent me back. I mean, I was so annoyed because I needed 1 more plate and I wanted to capture that Dragonite, but it decided no, we wanted to be sent back. I used my Solgaleo to make another portal and then just flew up on Dragonite to go straight back into it because we only needed 1 plate and I just wanted to get this done because it was taking so long. The crazy thing, we found another one of them Dragonite, and this next beast ball gave me an icicle plate. It wasn't as soon as we entered the ultra space. This took a lot longer than usual, but I just cut it down down for you guys. But it was crazy to see both things we wanted were right next to each other. I threw my Solgaleo into the fight because he was probably my strongest hitting Pokemon right now. And we just kept using Sunsteel Strike to weaken him. We got him down to 35%, which was quite good. The only thing is, he then decided to roost. He got back so much of his health. So I needed someone else to try and do more damage. So I threw out my Wailord because he can body slam and potentially paralyze. Then if he's paralyzed, he can't hit me back at all. I just needed to do some more damage, threw Primarina out and decided, you know what, an Ultra Ball, and we actually captured it. It had 16 health, it was paralyzed, so that does help out a lot. The only thing is, there was a problem. E used the portal, and then G should create one. Did it create one? Okay, I have an idea then. What we'll do, put everyone away, we'll take a Magikarp out, and we'll just go into a battle, and we'll obviously lose it, and then we go home. Okay, we're out. We should get sent home. Where am I? Okay, that was weird. We now have ridiculous Dragonite level 100. That doesn't seem normal. Moves. Roost, Twister, Agility, and Safeguard. So it needs better moves. We need to sort out that Dragonite, but I mean, we have a level 100 Dragonite on our team. Ashen Palette. I don't even know what that means. But we have a mission here. We need to find Arceus so that we can do this mission. So let's just put all the spares in here. This is a lot of plates. This is a lot of plates. That was a lot of grinding. Oh my god. Okay, now we need to find the chalice. We just need to find an ocean now, which we have explored quite a lot. So we can find one on our map. That's what we're looking for. So where are we right now? Here. So we need to head straight that way and we can find one. Yep, literally straight this way and we'll find one. And we can use our brand new Dragonite to do so. Here we go. We found the Arceus chalice. What's happening to... Why is this not working? We have Aqua Gear. This should mean that we don't need to have like problems underwater. But this is the chalice. Now we can provide all these plates. All these different effects happening. The last 9 need to go in. And we should be able to see something arise from the chalice, I think. Let's make sure we have some air first. Look how cool that looks. Oh, that looks cool. That looks really cool. Now, if you guys have seen my other 100 days video, I did summon Arceus in one of them. And this animation did not happen like this. So seeing it happen properly, where you see all the colors, it reminded me of Power Rangers, to be honest. But seeing all the colors come together, spin around in a proper animation, and then show the Azure Flute was so cool. I got back home, walked straight up the stairs of the Arceus shrine, nearly tripped over that little fallen pillar, but we made it. And this was the time that we summoned Arceus. I was excited because this was like a big moment for us. We placed it, it didn't work. I started to panic. It wanted a time space orb, so I tried again and spammed. Thankfully, I decided to click away from it and it worked. I just didn't need to place it in the altar, but it looked so cool seeing the Arceus finally rise, and we went straight into battle with it. I wasn't going to waste any time. We threw the Master Ball because I was not having an Arceus get away, even wander and despawn, because that was a lot of stress to get those plates. But we captured it, and we now have an Arceus, the god of all Pokemon. Now, I'm not going to lie, his moves kind of trash. I mean, we need to give him better moves like extreme speed, but we just gave him an earth plate, which actually changes his typing and also the color of his like shield thing, which looks really cool. And I wanted to try and find a Cubfu because I wanted the single strike Urshifu, who is a water type, and that would make our team so good. We'd have Arceus, the OP Dragonite, Urshifu, and then the rest of our OP team. But it wasn't spawning, so I just decided to stay here, level up my Pokemon quite a bit, and we just needed to get everyone to level 100. It's easier said than done, but this took so long to do. But I was committed to the grind because I knew if we wanted to beat gyms, we needed a very strong team. As you guys can see, we got everyone to like level 92, 91, and we had a Dragonite level 100 and went straight into fight a Steelix boss. It was so easy. We were going to be so good at fighting this. So I thought our Dragonite got knocked out and we took Blastoise out just to finish the fight because we know Blastoise is strong. He can tank a few hits and he can also take out 120 Steelix boss. We got down to 14 HP and sadly we were knocked out. The Steelix was on 13. We literally just had to hit it once essentially and we took it out. And it gave us Steelixite, Warterium Z, and an XP Candy Large. Now I specifically stayed in the Extreme Hills because this is where you have move relearners spawn and move tutors. So I just made sure to mine up as many resources as I could so I was ready for when I see them, because they always want like 14 sapphires, 10 rubies, or like 50 amethysts. So we just mined as many as we could from extreme hills biomes until we found an actual move tutor, and it was taking quite a while. We found one in this hills where we just were. The thing is, his moves that he was giving were horrible. I mean, he didn't have any for Warlord. He had barely any for Blastoise, which I wasn't even going to use, like, moves-wise. The Dragonite ones were horrible. And then even Primarina had none that she could use. Arceus ones was just Ancient Power, and I needed Emeralds, so I was not going to do that. Now, it was looking dark. It wasn't looking like we were going to find anything. I mean, I kept just running around the extreme hills, hoping they spawn and waiting for they spawn. We saw this Bob the Builder looking one who had red instead of yellow, which was kind of offensive. I like yellow Bob. But his moves were horrible. Who wants Blast Burn on an Arceus? And then we saw this old gentleman over here next to these rubies, and he was a move relearner, thankfully, because it meant that I could teach them all the old moves. I decided to give Arceus extreme speed and took off cosmic power because I was not really going to use that move. Then we went into Dragonite and gave him Thunder Punch, and we took off Roost because I didn't really want to use Roost, nor did I have the move set up for it, and Fire Punch instead of Outrage because I wanted to control how many times I hit. Finally, I gave him extreme speed instead of agility, which may or may not have been a good idea, but Heavy Slam was given to Wailord just because it's better than Body Slam, and this trainer is a goat because he saved my life. I would have had nothing without him. I then came across this weird looking place in the desert. It had cafes. It was literally like a proper Pokemon village that you find in like the Nintendo Switch Pokemon games. We of course had the weird biker looking gang, and I'm pretty sure this was a church. The funny thing about it is they had an Arceus right there that they worship, and I have him in my party. Like, how good is that? We found a Pokemart, and then the Pokemon Center was there, facing this weird looking building, which I soon realized was definitely a gym. So I thought it was time. I walked towards it, and we were thrown straight into battle. Now, he had a Corviknight against my Blastoise, so I used Aqua Tail on his Corviknight, who actually changed out for an Escavalier, which wasn't a bad play because we didn't do that much damage. I used Aqua Tail again because it was basically my strongest hitting move, and his Escavalier did tank it. It was going to take a long time, and he knocked my Blastoise down to 5 HP, which was scary. We got him down to 17, but I knew I was basically dead this round anyway. I threw out Arceus and used Earth Power, which literally would have worked if he didn't just swap out to a Corviknight. I decided it'd be best to swap out to Dragonite because I don't think I could do anything against him with my current moveset, and his Brave Bird did a lot of damage. My Fire Fang didn't do enough, well, Fire Punch, but he managed to take my Dragonite out as well. Wailord came in with Water Spout and did a decent amount of damage. I knew I was dead next turn, so I used a max revive on Blastoise. I threw him out straight away, and we went straight back to business against the Corviknight. We went Aqua Tail straight against him, and it does a good amount of damage. The only problem is he does so much damage with Brave Bird. He took recoil damage, so I knew that I could finish him off this round, but then he decided to throw out Sand Slash. Now, it was a Alolan Sand Slash, and he did end up taking out my Blastoise, so we threw out Dragonite, who can use Fire Punch, and it's very effective. Thankfully, we dodged his attack and we one punched him. He threw out more wild, so we just decided to use Fire Punch again, and it just does a lot of damage. I think Dragonite's gonna be our best bet in this fight. He avoided another attack. I don't know what it is. He's like the anime Pikachu. But anyway, he got him down to 18%, which is really good. And then I got one hit. Now, this was my mistake. I used extreme speed and it did nothing. It was on red health, took away like, I don't know, 8% health, and it then shared our pain, so it healed itself and took away some of my health. I had to swap out to Gyarados because I wasn't going to do enough damage as Arceus. We Mega Evolved and used Waterfall for max damage, and thankfully he swapped out to Aegislash, and I did so much damage to it. I mean, one more Waterfall and it would have been out. The problem was he attacked first and literally took out my Mega Gyarados like it was nothing. So instead of throwing out Arceus, which it looks like I did here, I didn't. I threw out Primarina, and she did so much damage because he threw out Excadrill, and our Primarina literally nearly one-shot it. We used it again, thankfully tanked a hit, and we took out the Excadrill like it was nothing. That was good. I mean, I say like it was nothing. We nearly died in the process. I decided the next best bet is to revive my Dragonite because I didn't think Primarina was going to hit first, and basically nearly one hit the Mawile, left on 11%. I knew it wasn't going to be faster, so I used extreme speed, and this was so sad. It was left on 0.3%. How much more luck can he get? He took out my Dragonite, and I had my Arceus left. I decided extreme speed just to finish the Mawile, and this was a gamble. This next part was a very big gamble. I just thought, you know what, Escavalier, I'm just going to use Earth Power. I'm not going to revive anyone, and it took it out. Thankfully, This was the biggest gamble. I decided, you know what, if it happens, it happens. We attacked first and we took it out. We beat the first gym trainer. Now, this one was a bit scary. It was an epic boss and we weren't even at the gym leader yet. He threw out Duraludon and I was scared. So I swapped Blastoise out for Arceus. And thankfully we did because he used Thunderbolt and it doesn't affect me. I couldn't attack first though and got absolutely wiped. My Dragonite then followed closely after. Soon my Gyarados, I didn't even get the chance to Mega Evolve him. He dropped down to 9 health. I don't know how he tanked the Duraludon hit. Gyarados fainted, so he threw out Blastoise, who tried to hit an Aqua Tail, and he decided to swap out to Sizzle just for fun. Just for fun. We didn't even do enough damage to it. The next time round, he Mega Evolved just for fun, just to stunt on us, took out Blastoise, took out my Wailord, and then took out my Primarina. He literally Mega Evolved to stunt. I mean, my Focus Sash kept me in, but it's not like I was going to do anything. I tried, definitely tried, but that was it. We fainted. The 100 days were up and we didn't have enough time to have a go again, so we sadly had to just leave the gym. We took one last look at the gym that absolutely defeated us. It crumbled us. We couldn't do anything and we left. But that is going to be it for this 100 days. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe. You know what? I wish we could have done more. If you want a part 2, let me know in the comments down below and we'll definitely do a part 2. Maybe give me some challenge ideas. I have a few, but if you guys want to see a specific one, let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like I said, leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.